Hello! I'm so happy to be back. I'm so happy to be outside. The weather is so gorgeous here and so I get to sit outside today. It's been lovely. Hello, happy Monday. Happy Monday, happy Monday. So I'm very grateful and very glad to be back with you. I feel like I have been gone forever. I feel like so many things have happened. So we have, I was so fortunate to be in Ormond Beach last week. Haircut. In Ormond Beach last week for a week with Tony Stockwell with mediumship and all kinds of amazing experiences there. Except unfortunately, while we were there, Israel was attacked, and so now we have this whole war going on, and that's been very upsetting to everyone. We do have family and friends that are in Israel, so we are, praying constantly for everybody, and I'm grateful to be able to be here so that we can be part of something positive and something good. So I want to share, I'm trying to hear them. I want to share the things that are given to me from beyond, from above. And the thing that I really want to share is that, yes, things are going to get more complicated before they get less complicated. But that doesn't necessarily mean all is lost. And it doesn't necessarily mean that, only negative, horrible things are coming. I think when we look at psychic work of trying to feel into the world, the energy of the world, the pain, the suffering, to get these vibrations, I feel like it is very easy to get misled because there are so many different funnels of emotions. There's so many people feeling this way, and there's so many people feeling this way, and so it can be very complicated to feel into these kind of things. And so one of the things that I know is, at least for myself, is when you feel into this, it's about feeling the undercurrent, the rumblings underneath. And that's really difficult for we as humans, because that means we have to take this whole left brain side, the left brain side that says murder, mayhem, trauma, bombings, politics, medical, blood, fear, anger, anguish. These are all things that are computed in the left brain, and they can be so very loud. And so often I have said in the past that the noise, that our world is so noisy, and the noise comes so much from the people that are screaming on one political extreme or another political extreme, and those who are in the middle, and those like us who are working to raise the light, tend to be more quiet. We work in the background, we work in the sidelines, we work to heal and to bring light and to help raise vibrations. And so we are not with the bullhorns, we are not in the forefront, and it is the noise that we process with our left brain. And to be able to get past that noise and the pain and the anguish and the heartbreak, oh sorry, my phone dropped, sorry Instagram, to be able to get past all of that is really complicated, because we're human, and we can see the news, or we can hear from others what's going on, and it can be very, it's very upsetting. So in order to feel into these things and to move past it, you kind of have to dive under and swim along the bottom. If you have ever been in the beach, the waves, the energy waves of the ocean are actually not at the top. What we see is at the top, but the energy waves are actually at the bottom. So if you're in the ocean and you're standing, let's say, up to your waist, if you see a wave coming and you actually jump just this much, the energy that is driving the wave will go right underneath your feet, and the wave will literally break around you. Now, it's not to say you may not get splashed or pushed around a little bit, but a lot of that momentum, the energy of the wave is below. And so if you jump even just a little bit, hey Sunny Bunny, if you jump even just a little bit off the ground, off the bottom of the sea floor, then the energy of that wave will pass beneath you. And it's the energy that we're looking at. It's the energy that is driving the momentum of these giant waves that we are seeing out in the world right now. So we're looking at where is that energy come from? Where's that energy going? So we dive under the waves, right? And we dive under the waves, and we're looking at that energy, and we're feeling into that energy. What is going on? Where are we going? What is humanity? How is humanity evolving in this situation? And I say this because, again, it's what's being given to me. I say this because humanity is evolving through the situation. It doesn't feel like that. It is. The energy is heavy. Ellen is 100%. The energy feels very heavy. And I don't agree that it feels static. I feel like, we know that there are underwater volcanoes that burst up from the sea floor and they cause tumult. And it feels like, to me, it doesn't feel like the energy is static. To me, when I go under the waves of the noise and the sadness and the drama and all of the heartbreak, it does feel like the waves are pushing us forward. It feels like we are being pushed along by volcanic eruption, which shows me that there is obviously more to come, that there will be escalation beyond just what might be able to be seen with the presumption that Israel will move into Gaza, but that there will be more eruption. But if we can survive that, if we can move forward, it does feel like there is coming to be an understanding. There is still this division, and we've been talking about this division for a long time, right? We've been talking about the people who want to hold on to the status quo, the people who are all about control and power are on one side, and they are very loud and very, they are very, the chants of are not of peace, right? And then you have the other side that is of people who just want to live their lives, the people who want peace, the people who want to be able to go forward. So when you have a whole group of energy that is looking towards domination and eradication, that's one very strong energy signature. And when you have another group that is saying we are looking for a different solution, again, it's not going to be as loud. The people, the energy signature that is about dominion is always going to be louder. But that comes from the shaking of the energy of people who want to move forward in a different way. For me, in my personal beliefs and what's been shown to me, and I can only speak for me, what I have seen is that all of this is pushing us forward. That doesn't mean it's fun. It doesn't mean it's not horrific, because it is horrific. However, all of this is pushing us forward because the rumblings underneath it all are making the people who only want the power and the dominion hold on so much more tightly and to explode, because they have no other where to channel that energy. Like this underwater volcano, it has to go somewhere. But once it's gone and it has expelled itself and the lava is moving along, we can now move around it and know how to avoid it and how to deal with it. So for what has been shown and being explained to me, and what I hear in my head is so much of, there has to be, and I please understand, I don't like any of this. There has to be a cataclysmic or a world-shaking phenomena to shake people loose and wake them up to something different. We saw that after 9/11 here in this country. We saw that after 9/11, where we had so many people coming together of various nationalities. And I know there was a lot of anti-Muslim sentiment in that time in this country, but we saw that of people coming together to help each other, to come together to lift each other. And so while I shudder to think what else might be coming, I do still feel like there is more that's coming. And so our job is twofold, and it is not an easy job, because it's very easy to fall into the despair and the anger when you look at the atrocities that are going on right now. It is very easy to lean into anger, and so that is the place where I would really counsel you to try and stay away from. And if the news is too much, Ellen is talking about that she can only find peace through meditating, then that's where the peace is. For me, I don't know if I find peace by doing. What can you do to help? My girlfriend took her 5-year-old daughter, they made construction paper cards for Israeli children. We love you, we're thinking of you. There was a PJ Library was doing something like that. I don't think you have to be a 5-year-old to do something like that. We have sent money. We have sent, support. One of the big things that we can do right now that's free is to share not just the atrocities on social media, because there's a whole lot of misinformation that's going on right now, but to share the positive things. So it was announced that the U.S. government worked out a deal with the Royal Caribbean. They're sending a cruise ship to help get people out of Israel. I think that's amazing. So to share the things that are positive and to help shine light on the people. If you remember Mr. Rogers, he always talked about those people who were the helpers, and that if you were ever in trouble, to find the people that were the helpers. And so I think really it becomes incumbent upon all of us to try and be a helper in some way. So, and understand that being a helper can also mean sitting in prayer, sitting in meditation, when we sit in those places, we bring light to ourselves. But when we sit in meditation, we can also send that light out to the universe. We send that light out, the healing light. We ask the angels and guides to send healing out to all of those who are in harm's way, and to bring peace to not just the Middle East, but to bring peace to our world. And so we can send that light, and we have, there's so much scientific evidence that when we pray and meditate together, the energy is so amplified. And so if that is the thing that you can do, is to protect your own self, your sanity, your self-care, your heart, your mind, to sit in that meditation, that's awesome. But keeping in mind that we're not here just to take in that light to heal our own selves. We take in that light, and then when we're able, we spread that light back out to have that that energy, that vibration to go out to others who need it. And so it's important that we are doing both things. You will also have heard me talk so many times about grounding, keeping your feet on the grass, touching the trees, all those kind of things, so that can help you to be more grounded in your own self during these difficult times. Self-care is always of the utmost, keeping yourself safe, whether that's mentally, physically, what have you. But at the same time, when we are finding that place of peace, even if it's just for a minute, we're having that place of peace, we want to make sure we're sending that light and love energy out to others, okay? It can be just your street, your block, your neighborhood, your family, just your own little microcosm, whatever it is, because remember, we all cavitate off of each other. We all amplify off of each other. And if that wave is beneath our feet, then keeping our feet grounded and keeping our energy grounded becomes so important. But not to get caught up in the noise of the news media and the politics and, all of those things. Having that understanding that this is so much more, this is so much bigger, that it is part of the transformation of our world. Where it will end up, I wish I had an answer. It's really hard to see what that is going to look like. And to be honest, even if I had a clearer vision, because there are some clearer visions, I don't think that it would be responsible to necessarily share it. Um, I do believe that there is a way forward for peace in our lifetime. And that is the thing that I put light towards. And that is the things that I would ask you to put light towards, is what could peace in our lifetime look like for you? What could that feel like for you? Because if we all put our energies into that, to say, this is how it would feel and this is what it would look like, and we reverberate that out and we vibrate that out and we share that with others, and we ask that light within ourselves to be shared, that light that envisions and feels peace, because we know the feeling is much more energetically strong than just the thinking. So if we are feeling that, and we are feeling and we are sending that out, it will have reverberations. It will make a difference in the out there. Okay, and maybe it's just making a difference in your neighborhood, but if everyone in your neighborhood was making that same thing, then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I do feel like, I certainly don't feel like this is the end of days, but I certainly do feel like it is part of this age of Aquarius, this transitional time that we have seen our planet be in, since, 2014, 2015. So we know that this is a time of transition, and we've talked so many times about how energy is not like a light switch, right? That energy builds up, the energy comes down. It is not instantaneous. And so we're seeing this wave that is driving these bigger explosion waves that we're seeing on the surface, is being driven by these waves underneath. So there was one more thing I wanted to share about that. Hang on, let me get that back. Yeah, we'll come back. I'm sorry. There was sometimes when I'm saying what they're asking me to say, I like lose the link for a minute. It is important that we stay aware of what's going on, but it is also important that we don't. And this is a big ask. I understand this is a big ask. It is important that we don't allow ourselves to sink into depression, anger, madness, sorrow, and that is a big ask. I think we can all create a list of woes if we wanted to. I have, a dear friend of mine had passed away just this past week. My girlfriend I saw today, her son died unexpectedly. I think he was maybe 20, maybe younger. We have all of this stuff that's going on in international spaces and countries, and it's not just Israel. Azerbaijan is at war, or under attack, and Ukraine, and just even in the United States, there's so many things that we could create a basket of woe if that was where we wanted to live, if we want to go down that rabbit hole. And so what I'm asking you is to be very conscious of your energy and really try to stay in that place of something bigger, something more. There was a time after, the Holocaust, the World War II, and so much loss of life, there was communications from the other side that all these souls that had given up their lives felt like, okay, we have made this collective sacrifice because we're going to help be part of something that brings change. Did it move the needle? Yes. Was it enough? No. And from the human side, it becomes, well, how much loss of life is going to be enough? There's not really an answer for that, because now we've been through COVID, and now we've been through. But I feel like our planet is not the same as we were in the 1940s. Our planet is not even the same as we were 5 years ago before COVID. So there are many things that are much better and more evolved and highly connected about the humans on this planet. There are many things that have used that connectivity and that evolution as, just forces for destruction. So, what are we saying? What comes through for me is about knowing that there is some purpose to the madness, which sometimes is maddening on its own. But knowing that there is a path forward for humanity if our leaders are wise enough to take it. I don't know what that looks like, and I do feel like there is more darkness to come, but I do feel like that there is light beyond that. So what I feel with these energy rumblings as we dive under the waves, to be able to say, okay, there is this wave that is moving. Where is it going? How is it, is it knocking us off of our feet? And the thing that I keep coming back to as I am feeling into those waves is, it is not a destructive wave, but it is a restructuring wave. And so what that looks like remains to be seen, but that's where I will leave it for you for today. And we'll go forward. So let's grab an animal spirit card, and then we will be able to, we'll dive into some collective card readings for the day. All right. The good news is that I don't have a bunch of travel more until December. So hello, William, hello. Who's, I can't see what that says. Fred Bell, hello. All right. So I don't have more travel until December, so that's good news, which means I should be able to be with you, because last Monday I was still in Ormond Beach with Tony Stockwell, so that was really a real gift as well, and to be with everybody, and especially as all of this was beginning to unfold, to be, boy, there's nothing like, being in a room full of intuitives and empaths and mediums and whatnots when you are in the midst of a crisis. So, all right, so this is the animal spirit guide that is going to be our leader for today, and this is the mountain goat. It says, there's something out of balance in your life. That's hilarious. There's something out of balance in your life, so do whatever you need to do to correct it. And so this is just a gentle reminder. Hi, Candace. This is just a gentle reminder that we want to keep self-care. We want to make sure we're taking care of ourselves, that we are not going down the rabbit hole of the news cycle where we are making ourselves crazy. So self-care, self-protection in times of crisis is really, really important, regardless of which side of the conflict or opinion or what have you. As light workers, we really try to stay in the place of, there is a path for peace. However, there's also this understanding that people have to choose that, because people have free will. All the humans on the planet have free will, and humans need to choose that. And we need to require that of our leaders, of our whatever country, and whatever political whatever, we need to require that of our leaders, that they work from a place of desiring peace. That is so important. So, all right, so we're going to pull a couple of cards and see what's going on. So we have Orphaned. So this is from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck from Colette Baron Reed. This card is Orphaned. This is 5, card number 5. So we can see that we are in the midst of this transitional period. We can see that there is change and uprooting and shifting that is going on. We didn't need a card to tell us that, but it's always nice to know when the cards are listening, which is always. So we know that things are being restructured and that things are being taken away. Orphaned is not just about, and in this context it very much speaks to the murdering of innocent people, but orphaned is not necessarily all about that. It's about feeling disconnected. It's about feeling dialing back in and reconnecting with those things that are important to us. And so it isn't about, I know you can take it very literally by looking at the news, but what I'm suggesting is that we're looking at it from a different perspective. From the card perspective, it is about feeling disconnected from those things that are important, those people that are important. So if there have been those that you have been thinking, oh, I should reach out to that person, this is a good time to do it. Okay, this is a good time to reconnect to the things in your heart that are most important for you, the things that bring you joy, the things that bring you peace, right? We talked about that meditation, those things that really help you to feel more grounded and more connected. We are all, especially after COVID, we all got into this bubble, right, of our myopicness, where we're only just seeing what affects us directly. And this really is this time that we're being stretched to be pulled to really see more of what's going on around us and reconnect with the things that are important to us. And so the orphan card is not necessarily that literal meaning. It is about we feeling disconnected from those things that are important to us. And so this is that reminder to not just to re-engage with self, but to re-engage with those people and those things that are important, that stir the soul for us. Okay. This is this is to the sea, but this card is number 7, and this card came in upside down, to the sea. And so here's the thing that I love about this card before we flip it upside down. She's sailing, and I love that we were talking about the waves and the energy of the waves. But so here's the thing. She's sailing on the sea, but she's not looking at where she's going. And here's the other thing. The telescope on the back, it's pointed the other way. Like, they're not even looking at where they're going. The telescope is looking behind them, but they're going this way. So this reminds us that we're going in the direction Spirit is taking us. The universe that has plans. There is a pattern. There is something bigger than us going on. She's being carried on the wave for her highest and best good. And this is what I was talking about. I love that this card came up because we were talking about diving under those waves and seeing a different picture. The thing is that this card comes in upside down in that protection mode. And when the card is upside down, it is reminding us that we are, when the card is up, right side up, we are going the right direction, we're on the right track. When the card is upside down, we are reminded that there's something bigger at play. We are reminded that while we may not be on the right track, we're still in the flow. We're still going forward. If you've heard me talk about the time loops with Jeremy Bearimy, there's so many places people are like, oh, I made a mistake, I made a wrong turn. And I'm like, no, you didn't make a wrong turn. You looped back around. There was a TV show with Ted Danson and Kristen Bell called The Good Place. And at one point, Ted Danson explains how time works, and he explains it by writing in script the name Jeremy Bearimy. And if you write it, it's got a lot of loops. And I love this explanation because it was all about you go forward to make the loop for the J, but then you have to loop backwards to come back in, like in the G's and things. You go forward, but then you come down, you go down, and you go backwards, but then you go forwards again. So if you know how to write in cursive, you might try and write it down, Jeremy Bearimy. But I love that analogy because we do feel like we're going backwards, but the truth of the matter is we're really looping back around to go forwards. And there's a whole lot of truth in that, where we have to go back, regroup, take a better look around in order to go forwards. If you've ever looked at an archer pulling an arrow, it has to go back to get ready, to get aimed, to get lined up to be able to go forward. So sometimes we do take that step back to take the next step up. And so with this card being upside down, it's a reminder that we're still on the water, we're still going along with the waves, we're still going forward. And when the card is upside down, because she's not looking, that telescope is going backwards, it's that reminder we don't need to focus on the backwards. We don't need to look in what is going on behind us. We need to keep going forwards. Okay, so I love that this card comes up for us right now. All right, we're going to pull one more card. And geez, I'm so sorry, Instagram. I'm sorry, my phone keeps falling off my computer. I gotta clean my computer screen. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, so this card is the Thinker, but this card also comes in upside down. So hello. This card also comes in upside down. And so when the card, the Thinker, comes in upside down, it reminds us that how are we thinking about something? And it gives us this encouragement to see things from a different perspective, to be more mindful. Because again, sometimes when we are the Thinker, we can really be in that myopic place where we're only seeing what we are seeing. And so with this, it reminds us to not overthink things, and it reminds us to be open to seeing things from another perspective. So this is the Thinker card. And this is card, for those of you playing along with the numerology, is card 44. Okay, so 44, 4 and 4 is 8. That tells us that we are moving. I love the 4s because those are about stability and support. But you think like 4 legs of a table, 4 legs of a chair, for that balance and support. But then we have 4 and 4 come together, which is 8, which means that we are moving through the challenging moments to be able to come through 9 and 10, which is the completion phase. So it's just this reminder to not overthink, but it's also this reminder to not be so blinders, not to have so much on with our blinders that we are not able to see things from a different perspective, to see a wider view. Sometimes we've got to really step back in order to see things from a wider view. It is very easy, especially with what's going on right now, to see things in black and white, but any of us who've been around metaphysical stuff for a longer enough period of time can tell you that things are much more diverse and interesting than just black and white. It is never just black and white. So there is more. There's more going on. There's more to it. There's more happening. Those waves underneath the water, there is a lot more that's going on. And so our job is to keep the faith. Our job is to stay in the moment of flow and joy and gratitude, and to continue to fill ourselves with light, and to be able to spread that light and raise our vibration so that we can be sharing that higher vibration with those who need it. And so right now, with all that is going on, if you are someone who needs that vibration and that light to be shared with you, reach out, because when we can sit in the quiet and we can sit in the light together, we raise that light for everyone. And so if you are really in a place of struggle right now because there is so much, it's so hard to watch what's going on, take time to take care of yourself. Take time to get out into the nature. It's part of why I've been sitting out here all day doing my work. There's a gorgeous tree that you can't see, but in the corner of my yard, it was a memorial tree. We had planted it when a friend of mine had passed away. A bunch of us got together and planted this little sprout of a tree, and now it's this giant tree. It's like 25 feet up, and it's the only kind of a tree in Florida that turns colors. So right now it's got beautiful green leaves and yellow flowers that are starting to turn orange and red. It's the only kind of a tree in Florida that really changes colors. So it's just a beautiful thing. And so we can lean into that energy when we need to take a break from the noise of the media. We can lean into that energy and feel into the wisdom of the trees, the wisdom of nature, and to find those places of peace and those places of positivity, that we can use those things to help lift us and support us and calm ourselves during these very tumultuous times. So I want you to know that whatever it is that you're feeling is valid. It is okay to feel however you feel, and that you are not alone in whatever way that you are feeling right now. I would encourage you to take some time. Journaling can help a lot. It is a really helpful way to get some things out. Taking a walk. There's wonderful things like walking meditation where you just walk and notice. We walked this morning. There was a whole flock of ibises in our neighborhood, which are these big white birds with beaks. If you look at University of Miami, that's their mascot, and it's just wonderful flock of these birds. We saw hawks, we saw cardinals, we saw jays, we saw all kinds of things that, and squirrels and little bunnies and all kinds of things that the whole world is continuing to move forward, even while it feels like the whole world is stuck in this moment of violence. It's not the truth of the situation. We can make it the truth of the situation, but it doesn't have to be the truth of the situation. So as you are feeling your feelings, just know that anything and everything that you are feeling is truth and valid for you. But please don't live in the news. Please don't live in the darkness. Take some time to go out and just walk and listen. And you might hear traffic, but what's underneath the traffic? Look underneath. Can you hear or feel the noise of kids playing, or people laughing, or what is beneath the noise? And that is really the thing I want to leave you with today. I'm not going to do cards today for individuals, and I hope you'll forgive me. But that's the thing that we would really like to leave you with, is what is beneath the noise? What is the truth of a situation that is as it is for you? We do not have to get sucked into all of those things. It is important to know what's going on, but please try to stay in the place of light and in the place of gratitude and in the place of how can we make a difference? How can we make a positive difference? And for me, that is the question I ask myself every day. Ascended Masters, angels and guides, loved ones in spirit, what do I need to know today to move myself forward on my path for my highest and best good and for the highest and best good of those around me? That is literally what I say every single day. Angels and guides, loved ones, ascended masters, angels and guides, loved ones in spirit. What do I need to know today to help move for my highest and best good, to help move myself forward on my path and for the highest and best good for those around me? Where is the love and the forgiveness? Ellen asks this really important question. Where is the love and forgiveness? I don't think we're there yet, and I wish I had a better answer for you. But I think that there has to be there will come a place of resolution where we may or may not like what that looks like, and there will be a time of healing in that space. The situations are so active right now and so emotionally fraught that there isn't an ability for even humanity to come to a place of love and forgiveness right now, because there is not a resolution. And so when we're in the turmoil, our best move forward is to not sink into the anger. We may not be ready to come to the place of love and forgiveness, but we can choose not to sink into the hate and the anger. And that is, you feel that the love and forgiveness is always there because you are a light worker, my friend, and you are a healer, and you are also amazing. But not everybody has the knowledge and the wisdom or the experiences that you all have. I mean, you all are here because you are part of the light. You wouldn't be here otherwise. And those that are outside our community of light, they don't necessarily know the things that we know. And so we always have the capacity for love and forgiveness. We always have the capacity for love and forgiveness. Are the people who are in Gaza or Israel able to tap into that right now? Maybe not. Maybe not. And so it becomes our job to stay in that light, to stay in that place of light and love and hope and gratitude and love and forgiveness, so that we can raise that vibration for others who can't right now. So my prayer for you all is for you to do what you need to do and what works for you and what serves you and what feeds you, to move into a place of love and light and to stay in that place of love and light and forgiveness, so that you are raising your vibration, because by that very nature you will attract those others who are vibrating in that harmonious way that you all are vibrating together, and you will cavitate and create something bigger and something more powerful that we all will be part of together. I will say, if you choose to support organizations in Israel or for Israel, I feel like two things are important for me personally. I feel like supporting Israeli organizations is important, and I feel like supporting American organizations is important, like Jewish Federation, because these organizations then are being watched by our American government to look at them to see, is support for Israel coming from America to American organizations. And I feel like that has a lot to keep our politicians knowing that this is important here at home. So whatever you choose to do, just do it with love, do it with light, do it with gratitude. And if you're able to do it with forgiveness, then absolutely. I think that those of us who come to this space have a better ability to share that perspective that Ellen brings, that love and forgiveness always can be there if we can choose it. And so hopefully we can spread that and share that with others. I do look forward to being back with you next week. There are some things going on I would love to share with you. I can't yet. So I look forward to being back with you next week, and hopefully we can do some cards next week. And I appreciate your time and taking some time to be together and to spend some time here, and for your grace in allowing me to skip doing some individual cards today. My heart is also in the East, so with my friends and my family who are in Israel, and just praying for them constantly to make sure that they hopefully are staying safe. Many of our men and women that have called back into action, the children of my friends, the children of my family, and my cousins, have called back into action. And then there are some things here in America as well that need our attention. So we do have a choice to choose love and forgiveness, and to choose love and compassion over anger and hate. That is always a choice. And so let's choose love. Right? Let's choose love. And as I say to you every week, always to remember how very much that you are loved. You are loved by me, by them, by all of the spirit and energy in the universe around us. The universe operates from love. You are very loved. And I will see you next week. Mwah. Have a great week.